Hello everyone, so this is actually Corey Shoddy. My name is Corey Shoddy. My partners are Miranda DeBrune and Ashley Robertson. So we created a story called Homelessness Generates Substance Abuse in Massachusetts Counties, and this is how we created our data visualizations. So we did all of our data wrangling in R, so for our first one, we actually created CSV files for each individual year for this map chart we wanted to create. This is the final product, so you can actually go through each individual year and you can see all the eviction rates of each individual state based off of each year. And this is why Infogram is such a good tool. You can make this pretty easily in a very short amount of time. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to infogram.com and make an account. Super easy. It's free. And we're going to click here and create a map. So we're going to use the United States, and we're going to go ahead and name this Explain 1 because this is my first explanation for the map here. So this will look like when it's brand new. You can change your title to whatever you want, and then you have explanation text here. So the first thing I want to do is I make this as big as possible, at least as wide as possible, because we want to be able to see exactly what states are what. So the first thing you want to do when you click on this main big box here is you want to click Edit Data in the corner. This is really important. This is the biggest thing we're going to work with. So when I first created my files, I'll show you what they look like. They actually were these individual books here, and I created them and I moved them all into one workbook right here. This one worksheet, not the CSV, but the actual Excel workbook because Infogram likes that much better. So hit Edit Data, and we're going to create our worksheet here. And it's going to have each one of them here. So we go through and you can rename each sheet here in the corner. And what I did is I named them each individual year. You can see the idea: 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, so on and so forth. When you scroll over them, you'll notice that it actually shows the year for every one you scroll over, which is unnecessary because the year will be up here in the corner. So for example, this is 2008 instead of 2008. So there's something we can actually do. We can go into the tooltips and turn off the group names, and they'll no longer show them, because if you look in the data, the group names is the name of the year. So we don't have to worry about that at all. We can get rid of that. So this will be the eviction rate there. So I had some explanation text here, whatever you want that to be, format that. Legend explanation, and this was the finished product. So I actually changed the color, so I'll show you how I did that as well. So I changed the hot color here, which is the value it's going to look like there, to that. Let me go back to this. And I chose the map outline to be black just to make the states really pop. The missing area colors or the cold colors kind of make the white outline sort of make the states disappear. I don't really want that, so that makes that pop really well. So that's the explanation for how I did this one. So this one here is very similar, just using different data style. Did a little different data set rather. So we're going to go back to infogram.com and we're going to create another map. So you can go here, click on map. We're going to use the United States again. We're going to call this Explain 2. You can name it whatever you want. That just changes whatever the actual name of the file and what you see up here on the HTML header here. So this is eviction rate. Sorry, actually, this is the alcohol abuse disorder as defined by the National Survey on Drug Use and Health. And so we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to edit our data. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at what we actually named the file. So this one was pretty self-explanatory. It's just EV states in the year. This one here we used alkstates.csv. So we're going to go ahead and upload the file, and it's going to be alkstates.csv. Here we go. And that's what we're looking at. So we actually had to do a little bit more here, because if you look, it shows 2010, 12, 14, and 16. So to make this fast, I actually did the data wrangling here within the program to make it easier. So what I actually did is I copied and pasted each individual one. So if you look here, you can just Control X or Command X, depending on your Mac or your Windows, and that'll get rid of the data and copy it. So we can add a new spreadsheet. Weird is it actually copies the data. You can clear all the data, scroll to the top, and then paste. It's going to take a second because it doesn't like to load very fast. Program is good. Not the best. That's obviously not perfect. Or rather, probably didn't copy over. So in this case, all you should have to do is you can actually go directly into the CSV file to do the editing. So if you needed to, you can just go right in here, select 2012, sloppily like so, Control C it, then you can Control V it over here, and that'll add us our 2012 data as soon as it loads in. Just like so, and it likes to add the GPS coordinates too for some odd reason. So that's exactly how I did this, and you can do that for each one. So what I would do is for this, I would go through and delete 2014 and 16, and you'll end up adding. You can change the names of it too, so that this will eventually be 2010. Sorry, 2008, 2010. This one will be 2010, 2012. And then so on and so forth to create the actual data. So we're going to go here and we're going to up the chart height again. Oh, nope, sorry, the chart width rather. It likes chart width better, and it maxes out at 1024. You can get a nice big chart going on here, which is what we want. So it'll show you the differences like this, and you'll notice how the bottoms, you can actually go through and you can filter them out by states. You see which ones have the highest, and oh boy, it looks like Massachusetts is among the highest in this range. Pretty scary. So that's how you can use this for the maps. So we're going to change on. We're going to be looking at the eviction rates in the counties. That's for this one right here. So for this one, we filtered it and we selected our variables, and then we spread it over. So the lines will appear horizontally, as what the spread function does, essentially. So what we're going to do is we're gonna go back here and we're going to create a new chart, and we're going to choose line chart. You can make the name anything you want. Literally anything you want. I'm tired. It's getting late. Oh, project library reached its limits for some reason. That's strange. Shouldn't have. Probably have some lying around in the trash. Oh, would you look at that? So you make some room in your library by emptying out your trash. Of course, I'm sure if you pay for it, you get unlimited space. So let's go ahead and make a line chart. Anything you want. Create. Bam. This is what it looks like brand new. It has some placeholder values here. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at how we wrangled this data, and it's plot MA counties wide all. So we're going to go here, edit data, upload our file. Here it is. We're going to open it, and bam, look at that. So the only things I really did here was I would make it a little wider. Probably made it as wide as possible, I'd imagine. Make the best viewing we can. And this is what we get. This is what we're looking at. It's essentially what we have. The only thing I did here is remove some of the missing data in our data wrangling and all that. So again, you can add your titles. You can even change your color schemes, and then only you can manually change them. Not really necessary for this one. Obviously, we wanna make sure we have axis titles. We don't need to label the x-axis because you can assume the year there. But you want everyone to know that the y-axis is actually the eviction rate. So yeah, we also don't need. You can look here; it's showing the year for each one. Actually, that's pretty helpful. We'll leave that. But you can also, so if you want to look at the Hampden County, it'll highlight that if you scroll over it. Worcester County, Suffolk County, so on and so forth. You can see that Hampden County has one of the worst eviction rates in the country, or in the state rather. And our last one is eviction rate in of cities in the Hampden County, like so. So what we're going to do here is we're going to find our CSV name, plot hamdencities.csv, and we're going to create another line chart, like so. Explain for. So we're going to do the same thing we did before. We're going to edit our data. It's going to be our first step almost every time. It's pretty much the go-to move here when you're working with Infogram. So you got to remember your name, plot, and cities. Here we go. And usually the size is one of the biggest issues. I usually want to go through and increase the width. And to get to the width, actually, it's weird. You actually have to click off of the center chart. When you click back onto it, you can't access it again. It's strange like that. Make that a little bigger to make it a little more visible. And you can go through and see Springfield. Springfield's pretty bad. That probably has a few stories in there if you wanted to focus on the Springfield area, which is what we did. We focused on Northampton as well and surrounding. We included Massachusetts in here to see like how bad each city is individually compared to the average. You can see that here. This is the average. So you can see that Northampton's doing pretty well compared to the rest of Massachusetts, where Springfield is probably needs some help. So that is how we created each one of our infographics here, and I'll show you the finished products of each. So for this, the first one, go through each individual year. This is our second one. You can go through each range and scroll over them and see. We labeled our axes here. You can actually, one thing I forgot to mention is you can go through and label the legend, which is pretty important. You want your legend to have a title, so you can add that percentage of people who have been identified to have alcohol dependency disorder. Awesome. And then you can actually go through and see like which states have the worst in each year. 9%. See that these states have some of the worst here. And you can actually click on that and look. This is what makes Infogram such a good tool. Anyways, so if you have any further questions, you can look at the submission I'll be submitting online. My name is Corey Shoddy, and my partners are Miranda DeBrune and Ashley Robertson. I hope this has been illuminating on how to use Infogram and how we actually created our visualizations. Thank you and have a good night.